Hello, YouTube. Earlier tonight, well, I I woke up from a nap. Um, it was my birthday, um, and a lot of things went on that I'm not going to get into. Um, but family issues, fighting, things like that. Um, I noticed I woke up from my nap depressed. Now there was good things about today, and um, fun things that you know I did with family and all. But the depression bug got me. So I want to make a little video on depression. I mainly go into OCD because that's my main issue. But I noticed that a lot of people out there struggle with depression, and some of my friends actually, and my heart goes out to them as well. So I want to go over some things. I'm going to go from a book here of uh, some things that you can use to, first of all, detecting the symptoms of your depression, um, and to see. I have something called major recurrent depressive disorder, I think is the actual term. Um, I don't know what that means. I believe it's like well, you know what? Let's look it up. Let's go on here. Excuse me for a second while I make myself be able to see. Um, Major recurrent depressive disorder. It's just where you have recurrent episodes of major depression, pretty much. But what I did was, to get over it somewhat, I mean, I went and did something that I liked, and I made an unboxing video for my unboxing channel, and it got me going, and it uplifted me. So that was, that was one thing, thank God, that helped me. And I, you know, started getting into the unboxing video, making jokes, doing great, and depression is doing much better. I mean, it's good to stay productive when you're depressed. Don't just lie around. Don't just let yourself get into that funk, where, as my friend likes to say, um, you know, eh, something along the lines of, the real test for depression shouldn't be diagnosed at a doctor's office, but the amount of dirty plates that are piled up next to your bed, which is a little joke of his, but that's a shout out to my friend Mark. But which so just go do something. Try to do something that you love. I know that when you're depressed, a lot of the things you love to do seem like you don't love it anymore. They seem like it's just like you lose interest in the things you love. But I got myself busy this time, and I made some videos for a totally different related channel, which is unboxing things and reviewing things. So we're gonna go over some things from a book called Don't Laugh. Well, do laugh, because if you're watching this, you could use it. But we're gonna go over some things from a book my old pastor's brother gave me. Um, he was going through both things, and he was like me, in and out of the hospital with his anxiety, and so uh, so there's the depression part to it too. Okay, so from this book, um, so we're gonna go over a few things. I'm gonna try to keep my videos a little smaller in length because I can babble on and on. But so does your mind dwell on negative thoughts? If so, you may be suffering from depression. The following depressive thoughts quiz checklist gives you a sample of typical thoughts that go along with depression. Check the box preceding each thought that you often have. Now, I'm going to be honest, and I will say check after something that relates to me because we're here to help each other out. This is why this channel was built. And so, as you can see, also, my unboxing video was for a way better webcam than what I've been giving to you guys. So now I'm giving you HD quality. But let's stick to the point here. Okay, so I will say check. I promise you that. I will be honest. Okay. Things are getting worse and worse for me. Check. I think I'm worthless. Check. No one would miss me if I was dead. Check. My memory is shot. I guess so. Check for that. I make too many mistakes. Check. By and large, I think I'm a failure. Check. Big check for that one. Lately, I find it impossible to make decisions. Check. I don't look forward to much of anything. So that for me, that's check some days, check not other days, and no check some days, you know. Um, the world would be a better place without me. Check. Basically, I'm extremely pessimistic about things. Check. I can't think of anything that sounds interesting or enjoyable. Check. And once again, that fluctuates with me day to day. So sometimes I enjoy things, sometimes no, sometimes I think that way. My life is full of regrets. Now, that's a big one for a lot of people, and that's a big one for me, and that's a big check for me. Lately, I can't concentrate and I forget what I read. I have to think about that for a second. I mean, some cases, yeah, I do have. I also have OCD, so that's just a total mind screw right there, you know. Pardon my French, but I don't see my life getting better in the future. That's a check, but that's something that we all can change. We can work to have a better future. Um, I'm deeply ashamed of myself and the check. So pretty much, um, that was the checklist. So that was a self test. There's plenty of them on a Google search if you want to search. I don't suggest going around diagnosing yourself of everything, but that is a good start before you go to a doctor, a therapist, or a psychiatrist. And it gives you a better gauge and um, on your symptoms, and you can actually write them down, print that out. That's what I did, I believe, when I first found out about my OCD. I probably printed something out or wrote down the symptoms because he had a huge checklist, like a professional one, of like hundreds and hundreds of things on it probably. And I have it somewhere in storage somewhere at my old house or something, but um, that was for the OCD. And you know, if it helps when you go to have as much um, written down, and always keep diaries, like I always say, of your symptoms and the distress that it causes you on any kind of scale that you want to make it, whether it be high, moderate, or low, or 1 through 10, or 1 through 100. whatever's easy for you. So that was a little quick test, and I might want to add, if you're having serious suicidal thoughts, my heart goes out to you. Um, Please just, I've I've done it before where I felt that I was a harm to myself and I was alone. It was back before when I was married and my late wife passed away. So I was with her at the time and she was at work and I called 911. Sometimes it's the best thing because the world, there is there are people that have situations in their family where they feel that they're not loved, but there's always someone that loves you. I care. Look at me. I care. My heart goes out to you. I'm here for you. I'm here to be anyone's friend. I don't care if this channel gets so popular that I don't have time. I will make the time. Because, I I'm serious. I'm serious and I've even got tears in my eyes because I know what it's like. There's always someone that's going to care about you. It's not worth it. And just get the help you need. Go to the crisis center, call 911. If you ever have a suicide thought of, where you're going to actually carry it out, sometimes you're like, oh, I'd be better off dead, but if you're ever going to plan suicide, I suggest to get the help, go right to the crisis center, call 911. They held me there for about 2 days when I did that. Um, it actually helps, and you interact with a lot of people. They don't chain you down. They don't, well, where I went, they don't chain you down. They don't, but, I just wanted to make that clear. So like now we can get into, tracking some of the causes of your depression. Um, so I would suggest monitoring these things. Such as like, you may discover patterns. Perhaps you get depressed every Monday. That could be because you hate your job or the weekend's over, um, you're alone or something, who knows. Um, you may discover specific triggers for your depressive moods. That could be a family issue, you know, a thought from the past. I would write this stuff down, and when we get into later on the self-help tips or some solutions, um, we'll get to that later. But keep the diaries, keep the things for your therapist to see, your psychiatrist to see, your doctors to see. So there's always free help out there. It's hard to find it. It's hard to get the insurances to cover for this kind of thing with mental illness. I've been through it. I've called 20, 30 psychiatrists at a time, and they don't accept my stuff. I had to go to I'm not even Jewish, and I had to go to a Jewish community center to see a social worker. She was well trained in the matters of my OCD and my depression and my anxiety. She was very good. There are plenty of behavioral health places out there, like for your mental illness. You can always try to find any kind of resource out there that's free. I know that there's a lot of free support groups. I don't like being in big groups. I have a little bit of social anxiety and quite a bit. I have low self-esteem issues. So I don't like going a lot of places where there's going to be like say like a birthday party or a gathering or some type. So let's get back to this little list here they have. You can see how your efforts progress over time. when you're monitoring your moods, I guess. So that's another thing. Um, and also, you can quickly determine if you're not progressing, which may indicate that you need to seek help. So they suggest here to keep a mood diary. Um, let's see. So like they have a rating system here, which is so like I'm just gonna go through some little examples here, but 100 means that you feel ecstatic. You feel on top of the world, maybe like you just won 80 million or received the Nobel Peace Prize. Whatever turns you on, it says. Rating of 50 means just a regular day. Your mood is acceptable, nothing special, nothing bad. A rating of 1 is just about the worst day imaginable. We've been there. If you're watching this, you've probably been there. Um, in, um, and it says here, blah, 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 in, interestingly, that word is hard for me to say, I guess. We find that most people without depression rate their average mood at around 70, even though we define 50 as middle range, according to this book. So, in addition to your mood rating, it suggests that you jot down a few notes about your day, including anything that may relate to your mood, such as clashes with friends, coworkers, or lovers, difficult times of the day, falling in love, financial difficulties, loneliness. That's my thing. Negative thoughts or daydreams through floating through your mind, an unexpected promotion, wonderful weather, or work hassles. You know, so like here's a table. What they All right, let's see. I don't know if you can get that, but it's kind of like a chart that you can create, which would I'll break it down for you. The day, the mood rating, notes, events or thoughts, for example. So I'll give you one example of. So let's see. Sunday. This person's mood rating was a 20. Not a good day. I hung out and worried about getting my quarterly tax payment together by Thursday, and I felt horribly guilty about letting the lawn go without mowing it. Now, I mean, if that's the worst day for that guy, then I don't know, but I mean, everybody can relate to something, here. I want to find something that is. See, they gave that a mood rating of 20. I want to see something that's more severe on here, but they just keep going up from there. I'll give you an example. Okay, I'm going to read all these because they're based off the same example of someone. So Monday, um, in the AM, the day started miserably. He gave it a 30. I got stuck in traffic and was late for work. Um, then he and then in PM it says that he gave it a 45. In the afternoon things seemed to go more smoothly, although I can't say I felt on top of the world. Alright, so on Tuesday he had a 40, he or she. Nothing good, nothing bad today, just the blahs. We all had the blahs. When that day you just say blah. Wednesday in the AM he or she had a 30. I woke up feeling panicked about the new project deadline. I don't know how I'll ever get it done. Then at PM, he or she wrote, by the afternoon I'd made a little progress, but I still worried about it. Um, a lot of this sounds more of anxiety too, but it is a book on anxiety and depression. Thursday, he had a 35 in the AM. I was thinking about the fact that the days just seem to drag on. I don't look forward to too much. I don't look forward too much. All right, and then a 45 in the evening. In the evening, I enjoyed a phone conversation with a friend. So that's a good one right there. You could think of the good points of your day, the high points. Um, you know, that is that is good. Like, even though that my birthday wasn't perfect, there was some fights that went on and things went bad. Um, I did have fun doing a little Black Friday shopping since my birthday was on the on Thanksgiving this year, which is also another thing, which was Thanksgiving. I had fun with my family, after everything was bad, and then more bad things happened later at night, and it was just, you know, so chaos. Alright, so on Friday, this guy had a 50. Miraculously, I got the project done 4 hours early. My boss said it was the greatest thing he'd ever seen me do. Of course, he probably doesn't think much about my other work. And then Saturday, he had a 40. I finally got the grass cut. That felt good, but then I had too much time on my hands and started to worry again. So, like a lot of this, seems like it is anxiety also. I guess that comes along with depression. And so, what we need to do is look now at some solutions. Um, so there's many different things you could do. There's self-help. I've showed you in my past videos that I'm big on self-help. I have all these OCD books. I have this depression book. Um, I have tons of OCD materials here to help me. So, and once again, it says, am I having any suicidal thoughts? If the answer is yes, you need to obtain an evaluation from a mental health professional. That person will likely recommend psychotherapy, medication, or a combination of the two in addition to self-help. So, I mean, if you're afraid that they're going to lock you away forever, don't be afraid of that. It's always better to get the help. Look at my case. Um, I was in there 2 days. I met some nice people. Um, we even did karaoke. I mean, it was just 2 days and I was out. And I called 911, told them I was in danger to myself right now. I feel like I could do something bad. And it's helping yourself. So, and also you got to ask yourself, is your depression seriously interfering with your life in areas such as work, relationships, sleep, appetite, or recreation? And sometimes mine does. Sometimes I just lay around feeling sorry for myself, crying, so that's another thing. If that answer is yes to that, you may be suffering from a major depressive disorder. And it says see chapter 5. We're not going to get into everything, which means that you probably need more than just self-help. So that's probably kind of like some of the depression that I go through. Okay, so here are some of your resources that you can use for your depression. Books, which I explained. Um, they made a joke here. This is the only book in the entire literary world that has value in helping people with depression. Just kidding, folks! Exclamation point. Reading several different self-help books is a pretty good idea. Okay, so that I'm not going to get into the whole section. I'm going to tapes and videos. Watch YouTube videos. Depression help. Some it says for folks who learn best by hearing or seeing. Tapes and videos. Who uses tapes anymore? When is this book written? Anyway, we're going to go ahead and say CD. That's kind of a little outdated too, but CD MP3s, Tapes if you got them. If you got a tape player, that's all good. Hey, all people are still into the vinyl and all that good stuff. So I don't frown on anything, but if you're into it, you're into it. But anyway, I'm getting off track. You know, I'm the techie guy that likes the updated stuff. So like if you learn best by hearing or seeing videos, you know, audio, I'll say look for the same author credentials and information on effective approaches that we note for books. So, self-help groups is another one that is good. Now, once again, a lot of people with depression may not feel comfortable with that, but I would actually do it now where I'm at. It would be great to have other friends that can relate to me, other people in a group that can relate to me, kind of like an Alcoholics Anonymous or even an OCD group, but a depression group. You know, hearing what other people go through really, really helps. I mean, it doesn't make you feel good for that person, but you feel bad. But the fact that you can relate, the fact that you're not alone in this, the fact that there's millions of people that struggle with depression out there. You're not the only one, and then I'm not the only one. So I mean that you'll have common same problems as the next guy sitting next to you. You know, that's what we're here for. This is what this channel is for, to help each other. You know, I need your help. I want to give everything I can to you guys, so that's that. And then there's websites. The World Wide Web, which is a gift from God, because there's so much information on the web, so much, so many things, so many resources for anything that you could try. You know, you could type in a Google search, "I'm depressed. How can you help me?" Or you know, "How can I help my depression? I'm depressed. Help me." You know, I mean, let me just type that into Google right now. I'm gonna type in "I'm depressed. Help me." I'll even put Google in the end as a little joke. Um, you have depression help for women, dealing with depression symptoms and warning signs, how to recognize. "Help me, I'm depressed." There's a Joyce Meyer's book, which that would be good. Need some motivation right now? Read this immediately. There's a YouTube video that popped up. "I'm depressed, help me." I mean, there's all kinds of resources out there. Don't just get in a rut. As hard as it may be, easier said than done. That's what I always say. But websites, and then there's more effective um, sources and ways to help your depression, which would be cognitive therapy, which in brief, cognitive therapy operates on the assumption that the ways in which people think about, perceive, and interpret events plays a pivotal role in how they feel. For the treatment of depression, no psychotherapy has received as much support as cognitive therapy, which is good for OCD as well. Flat out, it works. It works at least as well as medication does for treating depression, and it appears to provide a degree of protection against relapse, something medication can't do. I don't know. So, and there's behavior therapy. Studies have found that changing your behavior can improve the way you feel and alleviate your depression. Behavior therapy focuses on helping you change behaviors such as increasing your pleasurable activities and teaching you ways to solve problems. Most practitioners of behavior therapy also include cognitive techniques in their work. Many of these professionals call themselves cognitive behavioral therapists. This book is full of words that I can't pronounce. All right, And then there's interpersonal therapy. This type of therapy attempts to help people identify and modify problems in their relationships, both past and present. My past therapist was good with that. Considerable evidence supports the value of interpersonal therapy for decreasing depression. Like cognitive therapy, this approach has also been shown to alleviate depression about as well as medication. Sometimes this method of therapy delves into issues involving loss, grief, um, and major changes in a person's life, such as retirement or divorce. A fair portion of this approach also involves the relationship between the therapist and client, like learning to relate to the therapist in ways that may help you with other relationships, which a book can't provide. So, and it goes on to say different people that discovering who's in psychotherapists, clinical psychologists, um, counselors, psychiatrists, social workers is what I would turn to because a lot of insurances do not cover me to see. Well, I mean, my insurance and a lot of insurances I'm sure out there do not cover me to go find myself a therapist or actual like psychologist. So I was seeing a social worker. They're very well trained most times. Um, they do workshops. They do all kinds of things. Mine was great. Like I said, I went to a Jewish community center. I'm a Christian, and they accepted me there, and they helped me out. So um, I mean, if you're religious like I am, talk to a priest. Talk to a pastor. They are always free usually. I mean, if I don't think that they should really charge for things like that if they do, but so finding the right therapist for you could go by finances, like which we briefly talked about there. The reputation and recommendations of that therapist, um, the scheduling. They're very limited with their schedules sometimes. I know that from experience. And their training and licensure, 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 whatever. This book is full of words that give me tongue twisters. So a lot of therapists, I didn't feel I had a good match with them. So like you got to ask yourself some questions, and this is a good checklist right here. Do I feel like I can tell my therapist just about anything? I've told my therapist and my psychiatrist things that, because of OCD, things that they could have put me in a handcuffs and taken me away. I mean, but OCD is different. It's all not real. It's not you, it's your OCD. Now, there are some people out there that have a different kind of mental illness where it can be dangerous, so you should tell. You should always be honest with your therapist about every little thing. I I really really recommend that. Honesty is the best policy, especially with a therapist, a psychiatrist, a social worker, whatever. Um, does it seem like my therapist cares about me? Um, I felt that my therapist cared about me. My previous one, I'm farther away now, so I haven't been in there in a while. Um, does my therapist understand me? Now, one thing with her was that um, I'm getting off track here again, but I'm going to switch over to my OCD. My OCD is religious OCD called scrupulosity, which I explain in my other videos. Now, so since I don't know her religion, they usually keep that to themselves. Um, how is someone that doesn't understand your religion or your problem, could go with anything, going to help you? So I started seeing a priest also, um, but you know I think I was too crazy for him because he doesn't stop to answer my calls. But anyway, that's another thing. So does my therapist seem interested in my problems? Um, my therapist was very good there. Um, does my therapist hear what I'm trying to say? Um, do I trust my therapist? That's just something you're personally going to have to figure out. Um, I think that I did trust my therapist. Is my therapist non-judgmental and non-critical with me? Um, that is a big deal. So you don't want that. You don't want them to be judgmental of you or, critical at all. They're there to help you, not to make you feel worse. Um, and lastly, do I feel safe discussing my problems with any therapist? So it says here, if you answer any of the following preceding questions with a strong no, or you answer several of them without a clear yes, discuss your concerns with your therapist. Like I said, honesty is the best policy, especially in this matter and with talking with the therapist, social worker, psychiatrist, whatever it may be. Um, if you feel that you can't discuss these issues with your therapist, ask yourself why. I've jumped around and jumped around to many different therapists, and right now I'm not seeing one. I would like to go back and see the one that I said that is helping me with the Jewish Community Center, but so I'm a little farther away from there now, so the travel distance is just why, and I need it, for my OCD mainly. And we were getting into the death of my wife, which happened in 2006. I have her ashes. I haven't even been able to deal with it. I've had one therapist suggest that I get an urn and I was actually thinking of spreading the ashes where we renewed our vows on the beach. I don't know how legal. I don't know but I'm getting off track. But they're in a box from the funeral home, and then it's in another box from the post office because she was cremated in California, and I'm on the East Coast. So I mean, I haven't even dealt with that stuff yet, and that is not good, And me and her, my therapist, were getting into dealing with that as well. So I mean, that's another thing. There's an example here. There's a couple here, and this is where I'll end the video. Well, actually, let me get into this first. You got your medications out there that can help your depression. I'm on Zoloft right now, which is mainly for my OCD, but that is also an antidepressant. There's many other options out there. Talk to your doctors about that. The primary care physicians can even help with that. Psychiatrists, they have the more training and treatments and things like that, so that may be a better option. So, um, I mean, my psychiatrist, I believe, is a nurse practitioner. My psychiatrist, yeah. All right, so, we're going to read two examples, and I will talk to you for about 3 minutes, and then I'll end the video. So here's an example of a conversation between a client and a therapist. Client: I need to talk to you about something. Therapist: Sure, what is it? Client: I've been feeling like I can't be honest with you because I'm afraid you'll be critical. Therapist: I'm glad you brought that up. Can you help me understand when it's felt like I've been critical of you? Client: Well, last week I told you about my plans to look for another job and you said I shouldn't do it. Therapist: That must have sounded like criticism. as if I wasn't supporting you. Client, yes, it did. It felt like you thought I was stupid. Therapist, that must have felt awful. Can you think of any other reason I might have made the suggestion? Sounds like when I met my therapist. Client, no. Was there one? Therapist, well, yes. I've simply found that when people make major life decisions while they're in the throes of major depression, like you, they often regret their action later. It's just so hard to look at things objectively at times like this. On the other hand, I certainly want to explore your unhappiness at your job. Come to think of it, I probably didn't ask you enough about that. Would you like to tell me more now? Now that exchange seemed to work out fairly nicely, doesn't it? It says they listened carefully. They explored the issue and they acknowledged having failed to adequately explore the issue. They demonstrated interest in doing so, and if it says if your therapist responds to you in this manner, we suggest that you remain in therapy a little longer to see if the relationship can become more productive. I've been with therapists that really made me uncomfortable. But my last one, like I said, at the center, the Jewish Center was very helpful. But sometimes alright, here's another situation here, and then I'm gonna close out the video. But sometimes therapists have their own problems, and they don't respond very well to clients' concerns. Here's an example. Client, I need to talk to you about something. Therapist, sure, what is it? Client, I've been feeling like I can't be honest with you because I'm afraid you'll be critical. Therapist, well, I certainly don't think I've ever criticized you. What would make you think such a thing? Client, well, last week I told you about my plans to look for another job, and you said I shouldn't do it. Therapist, that's because you're in no condition to be looking around for work. You're far too depressed to do something like that. You really thought I was criticizing you? Client, yes, I did. I felt like you thought I was stupid. Therapist, that's ridiculous. You're obviously feeling overly defensive. We need to work on that. Client, to be honest, I'm just not feeling heard by you. Therapist, well, you're wrong. I'm clearly listening to you. So that's a bad example right there. Somebody gets slapped upside the face for that. No, I'm just kidding. I want, I'm a nice guy. Don't worry. Alright, in this case, the conversation does nothing to repair the strained relationship. The therapist reacts defensively and shows no support, empathy, or connection with the client. If your discussions with your therapist often sound like this one, you probably should consider going to another professional. And so, like I said, um, my heart goes out to you all that are depressed. I struggle with it. I was depressed today, but I did something to get my mind off of. I did the unboxing of a webcam that I bought, so to make better videos for everyone. So I snapped out of it. Man, something that may help you is just to do something you like. Get involved in something. Do this book is a very simple book. It's just there's other books that are probably way more in depth and with the self-help stuff, but self-help is great. And then go down, go from there. So depending on the severity of what you're going through, I would say if you're really severe, go straight to a therapist. Call a hotline. Call the suicide hotline. Call a prayer line if you're into that, which I am. But call 911 if you're having suicidal thoughts. Also, for me, tonight I'll watch a kung fu flick. I'm into kung fu. I'm into foreign movies. I'm into Bollywood movies, which are from India, and I it's something I could do, you know. Kung Fu gets me pumped up, you know. So, but you know, if you're going through depression, you know, I'm here. That's why I'm doing this channel. I want to make friends. I want to have like a little support going on with us together. We're in this together, and we're going to stick to this together. I send the biggest hug to you right now if you are going through any sort of depression or mental illness at all. And I I want to help and I want to be helped. So in the comments below, if you want to suggest me anything else, you can do so. I would appreciate it if you would like and subscribe to me and share my videos because that helps, and I will do the same for you because I believe in helping out other fellow YouTubers. Um, and if I don't get back to you right away, that means I did not get the notification because I have about half a dozen different YouTube channels that I go through, but I definitely will answer you eventually. And also, I have in my one of my YouTube videos, I think it has my Facebook link at the bottom, so you can always get in touch with me there. But like I said, we're here to support each other, and let's stick together, guys. And uh, you have one person right here that would care if you were not in this world. You have one person here that does care, and that I love everybody, and I suffer, and I know what it's like. I suffer with those three things: OCD, the recurrent depressive disorder, depression disorder, whatever they call it, and anxiety. And I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. So my heart does go out to you, and I honestly, you know, care. So, um, like I said, just like, comment, you know, comments, likes, subscribes, shares. But I want to see comments. I want to hear your comments, and so I hope I could help out a little bit. You know, I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm only a, you know, someone that's been through it. You know, so um, you know, guys, I just wish you all the best in your journey through your struggles, and that, you know, it reminded me of. It reminded me of that hair club. Not only am I the president or something like that of the hair club for men, I'm a client. But look, not only, you know, I mean, I go through the depression and you go through the depression. We can relate. You go through certain mental illness. Some of those maybe some of the same things I go through, especially the anxiety and depression. Maybe not the OCD, but maybe so the OCD. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and you know, big hugs to you, and take care, YouTube. Bye bye. Love you.